Hooch is a bad dog, then he's a good boy, then he dies. This is spoilers.
This is spoilers.
Dead boy.
Hello, everybody. This is Brett. We are reviewing the... Crap, what year is it?
1988.
1989 classic Turner and Hooch. Well, it wasn't a classic. The critics didn't like it, but it was a box office hit, so, you know, what do the critics know? So this is Brett. Like I said, I'm recording out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I'm your host tonight. Let's see. Let's go around. Let's go from east to west, and let's tell me your favorite movie that has a dog as one of the top 5 or 10 main characters. Let's go. Who's the eastest?
Mikey.
Yeah, I'll go first. My name is Mikey. I'm recording from Goshen, Indiana. I can only think of one. Air Bud?
Okay, so maybe I need to come up with a new question. What is your favorite Craig T. Nelson movie?
Oh, well, Poltergeist is really good, but
Oh, yeah.
I like his TV shows more. I like Parenthood. Parenthood is a really good TV show if you've never seen it.
I've seen parts of it, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good in that.
All right, cool. So that would leave Josh still, probably, because he's on the outskirts of Goshen.
This is Josh from the outskirts of Goshen, the metropolis that is Goshen.
Yep.
Favorite Craig T. Nelson, definitely Coach for me. I watched so much of that when I was a kid.
Good cast.
I would love to revisit that TV show someday, but it's still pretty good. As far as dog movies, though, Brett, 101 Dalmatians, the original
Classic.
the original animated,
Nice.
if that counts. It's not live action.
Yeah, definitely.
dogs.
No, that definitely. I felt stupid after Mikey said he could only think of one, and I was like, oh, maybe it is just one.
Why did you feel stupid that Mikey could only think of one dog movie?
Well, apparently I didn't ask a very good question, I thought.
Well, I was thinking of live dogs, not animated dogs.
No, it could be any kind of dogs. I said it could be, main character. I mean, literally the main character of 101 Dalmatians is Pongo and Purdy.
Could you choose Snatch, just since they say Diggs a lot?
Dag.
Dig.
You could probably say Snatch. That's a pretty good one. So let's go with, thank you for both those answers. That was awesome. Stevie?
Okay, so Brett, the question was my favorite movie with dogs?
Yeah, favorite movie with dogs, and then as a bonus question, favorite Craig T. Nelson TV show movie. Yeah, the dogs, they're like a main character, so it does not have to be live action.
Oh, well, I mean, definitely Air Bud, because that is my favorite courtroom drama scene of all time, which is, I think, how they should do family... It's how they should do family court and dog court, is they should literally put either the parents and the children in the field, or the dog and its owners, and whoever it runs to gets them for life. Like, that's how that type of ownership court should go. But, let's see. Also, favorite Craig T. Nelson, The Family Stone. That movie's an awesome Christmas classic.
That, Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yeah, that movie is fantastic.
Never seen it.
Dirty Steve Dermot Mulroney, he's the best.
Well, Josh is a fan of that. Let's go with Pappy now.
All right, this is Pappy, recording from Louisville, Colorado. Favorite dog movie? I'm going to go with Comedy Central classic, Best in Show. I feel like that was constantly on Comedy Central. And then Craig T. Nelson movie. I'm not going to pick a favorite, but shout out to, I think he's 2-3 movie club now. Mikey said Poltergeist, and he's also Mr. Incredible. So check out our episode on Incredibles too.
Okay, so you heard Pappy there. He does not like Craig T. Nelson enough to name a favorite. So, sorry, Craig.
I can't pick a favorite. I love all of his
Devil's
work.
Advocate. My favorite dog movie I guess it'd probably be Turner and Hooch, I guess, but and Craig T. Nelson, Coach was always really funny, so, and Incredibles was good, so I'll go with that. I could name a few more so I could stay on brand of me, but I'll move on. Let's get into this super complex. This movie's about as complex as Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, so just hold on tight. We'll get through it. The setting is Cypress Beach, California, which is not a real city. I should have asked Corey where he... Anyway, so we're introduced to Scott Turner, who... Does someone want to kind of describe what Scott Turner is like at the beginning of the movie? How we kind of get introduced to him?
Well, I know that he's not getting the big R very much. He's pretty anal retentive. I have that written in my notes.
Yeah.
He's OCD.
Yeah, what is the very first scene? It's got a pretty classic shot here of like super duper close up of Tom Hanks' face going side to side, 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 side.
Young Tom Hanks. He's only like 33 at the time.
And then he like sticks the clippers up his nose.
Cleaning his nose.
Yeah.
I hate doing that.
Well, Brett, there's a heck of a montage throughout this whole movie. This movie is one big montage. I don't know if you realize that, but there's a lot of them in this one.
It's probably the greatest montage ever.
Yeah, I think, well, this opening montage, you just see that he's a neat freak and his house is all packed up. We can't tell right now if he's either leaving or going, or if he's moving in or if he's moving out from his house the way it looks right now, but he's got everything packed up. He doesn't look like he's settled right now. Yeah,
I was going to have someone could have led into what we find out next, but yeah, he's basically, he's bored with the small town life and the small town police work where there's, the biggest crime is jaywalking and stuff like that. So he's actually going to be transferring to Sacramento, the big city. And he's going to be replaced by Carl Winslow, who just loves to play cops. His name's David Sutton in the movie and Reginald Vell Johnson. I mean, the movies movies and TV shows he's cops in. Turner and Hooch, Ghostbusters, Die Hard 2.
Yeah. Family Matters.
3 Movie Club.
Maybe something else too.
If you read into this movie pretty closely, this could be like Brad and Gwyneth Paltrow before they moved to the big city in 7.
Yep.
So Hooch kind of prevents them. They even talk about dogs in 7, I think. Like, oh, we got these big dogs out back.
Well, Turner and Hooch was a huge influence on 7, obviously.
Definitely.
Clearly.
I love that old lady's warning when she hands him the cupcakes or whatever. It's like, don't get shot in the big city.
Scott, I made some muffins for you to take with you.
Oh, you didn't have to do that, Mrs. Remington.
God bless you in that awful city. We're all hoping that you don't get shot.
Was that scene exactly like from The Room? Do you guys notice that? He's like walking down through the police station and like through the city.
Oh, hi, doggy.
And, yeah,
my favorite cop.
Everyone has like their classic meeting, just like what's his name in The Room. Oh, hi, you're my favorite customer. I love you. See you later.
Hey, doggy. I didn't catch that, but I can see it now. That's pretty funny.
She hands him not mushrooms. She hands him the muffins.
Mushrooms?
Got Lord of the Rings on the mind.
Okay, so he's taking Carl Winslow around. I'm not gonna talk about him that much, but I'll just call him Winslow. They go down to see Turner's buddy Amos Reed and Hooch. Pappy, can you describe maybe both of those characters a little bit? Just give them a little background of what they're like when we first meet them.
Oh yeah, Amos is a total Pappy character. He lives in squalor.
Curmudgeon.
Yeah, he feeds his dog beer out of hubcaps. His dog isn't well cared for, apparently, like we learn about. But he I don't know like what his job is. Is he like a fisherman, or he just like lives on the docks?
A dockman.
Probably just lives on the docks, but I don't know. Does he have a lot of trash around? Maybe he's a junkyard or I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And one of the most terrifying stunts of the movie, I think, doesn't Hooch like grab onto Tom Hanks's neck?
Oh my god!
Yeah, the throat. Yeah, I mean, he puts a little pressure on, but not enough. Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know how actors do what they do sometimes. Like, I don't want to say the word, but like Daniel Stern in Home Alone said he'd get the spider on his face, but he said he'd do it one time because he was terrified of him. So like the scream you hear in that movie is like really him screaming. So I don't know. I mean, I'd have to be paid a lot of money to do this kind of stuff, which I'm sure they were.
He has a mark on his neck throughout the rest of the movie, like it actually scraped him or whatever.
You know, those method actors.
Dog, they have makeup for that.
So anyway, Amos is complaining about the noise coming from a place called Boyette Seafood. He's, you know, they pretty much just take it as like the ramblings of an old man. And Hooch, you kind of get one of the, maybe the most iconic scenes from this movie is the slow-mo of Hooch running at him with the jowls and slobber and everything like that. So, I don't know. That's pretty cool. But yeah, as Pappy said, he's not very well taken care of. He looks like he's like bloody and he's filthy and he probably stinks. And his diet seems to be pretty terrible.
Can I just jump in there though, Brett?
Absolutely.
One of my biggest criticisms of this movie, like, I don't have time for slow-mo dog.
What? The movie's an hour and a half long, though. It's not like it's...
Well, let Josh speak here. Let's see what
you're right.
stupid
have the floor.
Stupid excuse he comes up with here.
That's it. Like, I'm 35 years old. I don't need slow-mo dog. I know what it looks like when they, like, shake off water and stuff. Like, just move at full speed and move the plot along.
There is a lot of slow-mo dog in this movie, though. Like, an abundant amount of slow-mo dog.
Highlight the slobber.
I think it's just the way that Hooch photographs. I think they thought it would be like, look how weird this dog's eyes are. He's got a big jaw. I don't know.
He has a lot of personality.
There's nothing cute about that dog when he's in slow motion running. Like, it's odd frame to be like, let's fall in love with this dog. He looks terrifying running in slow motion.
I think that's kind of the point at first. They might go to the well a little too much. But
right, I think he shows a lot of personality, but you can just show that in live action. Like, this dog was actually a good actor, as weird as that is to say. I just didn't get anything out of the slow motion stuff. And further, does a dog really deserve Space Odyssey 2001 music?
Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, why not play saxophone like the rest of the movie? That threw me for a loop hearing that music. That's just me, though.
Brett did say something about this dog's eyes, though, and it has like human eyes. It's very off-putting. Something going on with this face.
Brett, you have bulldogs, right?
I have two bulldogs. Well, okay, no, Emmett died. I have one at my parents' house, and like my dog in Fort Wayne is a bulldog.
Just push your Instagram account.
What's it like having slobbery dogs?
I don't have slobbery dogs.
They don't slobber?
No.
Oh.
My parents have dogs that slobber. My mom has St. Bernards.
Oh.
But they're dry mouth. They don't slobber like hardly at all. So
Lazy Bulldog Dozer is the Instagram account, and I'm scrolling through, and to your credit, Brett, I don't see any slobber on this.
That's a good boy.
No, they just have trouble breathing.
He looks like a good boy.
He's actually 1/8 bulldog, 1/8 beagle. So he doesn't have a lot of the problems.
Nice.
So yeah, he snores and stuff, but it's not like super loud. He's an awesome dog. Lazy Bulldog Dozer.
Everyone follow.
IG. Yeah. He's losing followers, man. What the heck? Anyway, so I take your. I mean, I hear you about the slow motion dog. I guess could have been cut out. I just thought it was kind of funny. I don't know, but anyway, let's move on a little bit because
Brett, can I challenge you?
To what?
So my dog was born on my birthday this past Tuesday, which I am super pumped about to get in 10 weeks. I challenge you, by the end of next year, whoever has the most Instagram followers gets to stay on the podcast.
What?
Whoever's on the lower end has to leave for 1 month.
For 1 month?
For 1 month.
Ooh.
Whoever's dog has more?
Yep, whoever's dog has more.
I have a head
Brett
start.
already has a lead.
And that dog is a pug, bro. Good luck.
I'm all for this bet.
I like this.
1 month?
1 month, no pod.
That's a vacation.
That sounds pretty cool. I mean, we could just do a punishment movie instead, but if you want to go...
Okay, punishment
I like
movie.
that.
Let's do punishment
No
movie.
spiders or ghosts.
Unless it's Ghostbusters.
Bylaws.
Spider ghosts.
The scariest of all. So you want to do the second one, or do you want to do the crazy one? What's everyone else think?
Let's do the punishment movie. I like
Okay.
that.
We'll do that then. I'm shaking your hand over.
Friendly handshake to Brett. Challenge accepted. Let's go.
Yep. All right, cool. So I'm gonna pick so many crazy movies for you. So, hey, Mikey, what turns up on a local beach? What is found by some random people?
Well, there's a little boy who ends up finding what is it, a paper bag or like a Ziploc bag of like 10 grand on the beach. Yeah, and his mom calls the cops and is like, well, first of all, what is Tom Hanks? Is he a cop?
Yeah, detective.
He's an investigator.
People treat him like he's
Same
like
thing.
a library cop, though. It's really strange.
I don't know. The fact that he's like relegated to the docks only is like pretty weird. It's like he's been demoted and he's only working the crappy areas of town.
The pier is our jurisdiction.
If you watch a lot of movies, though, a lot of bad stuff happens down at the docks. Like, it's a great place.
Well, it's like, no, duh. It's pretty dead, Tom Hanks. Your job is pretty dead. You work the docks. How much crime is possibly happening on this 2-mile radius?
That's why
and
he's
what
leaving.
were those 2 felonies? I'm curious.
What's what?
So what were those 2 felonies he was keeping in his in his desk? I'm real curious about those.
Bicycle stealing from the high school.
Violent dog-on-dog crimes.
Oh my god. Michael Vick.
Ooh. Topical reference. Yeah, so he finds $8,000. This little turd kid who's like, that's my money. So, they take it in. I have to skip ahead a little bit. Got a little sidetracked there. So we meet a guy named Walter Boyette, who's a local seafood magnate, if there is a thing in a small town, but
a titan of industry.
So yeah, he's talking to a guy we'll see a few more times later, and they're asking about some random guy. We don't know who the guy is. We just know that he shows up to work, and the guy's like, "Hey, come in here," and the guy takes off. I don't know what he expected to happen, but the henchman chases him down, and he kills him. Over on the docks. Yeah, see? Docks, serious crime.
So that was the boss's daughter's soon-to-be husband making off with their wedding money, right?
Is that what it was?
Is that what that was?
Yeah, because the boss is complaining like, "Oh, I had to pay him $2,000 for the hotels and $400 for the ring," and he's like, I don't know. It's just like makes him out to be even a little bit more merciless when he's like killing soon-to-be family, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what the crime is in this movie besides Amos's murder.
It's money laundering.
Okay.
We don't know that at the
You
time,
can't
but
keep money in blocks of ice, Mikey. That's highly illegal.
yeah.
But can you freeze money like that?
Not legally.
Frozen assets.
Oh, I like that, Pappy.
I think
That was
I don't
good.
know if the paper would necessarily freeze if it's in the right bag, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a freesiologist, so I'm not quite sure. So, what happens after this guy gets killed? Who gets alerted of the commotion that's going on in the docks?
Hooch.
Well, Amos, the Pappy character, does first, and he's been suspicious, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of wanders out, and then it seems like a really big miscalculation to murder an innocent bystander when there's a really good money laundering scheme going on. Like, that was a huge mistake on the part of the mob.
Yeah, but Amos also had a pretty big mistake, and this is a mistake I see all the time in real life situations and fake. Like, don't go and say, I know what you guys are doing, I'm going to call the cops on you. Like, but that's the type of person he is, and that's pretty much why he got killed, Pappy. I think that's why
He's
they
also
would take that chance.
blackout drunk. Him and Hooch have been drinking whiskey and howling at the moon.
They've
all
been drinking
night.
the hooch, for sure.
And he's like, wait here while I go get my dog to attack you. And that's when he gets stabbed.
He says that, doesn't he?
I thought there's a decent piece of writing there when he was like, I've been seeing what you're doing over there, and that guy is interpreting it as he saw us kill that guy, but really it's Amos and his ranting about hearing the noises and getting woken up at night and stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't, I'm more of just in general, when people are in bad situations, they always be like, oh, I'm going to tell that's how people get killed.
Like show their hand immediately.
Yeah, you get out of the situation first, and then you go tell on them. So, I'm going to ask Josh. He's the dog expert. What do you think of what Hooch does next? He busts through the glass.
Yeah, Hooch busts through the glass, and this is like one of the big first like physical performances from Hooch, besides for biting down on the neck. But this is just a foot race to the gate, I think, and he doesn't quite catch up to him as we see kind of a Sam Raimi type of camera angle following the guy's heels all the way up to the gate, and he climbs over, and Hooch is not able to apprehend the bad guy.
Yeah, just doesn't get him in time. So yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happens. Here's where we get into a cliche in movies that I don't like, a trope, I guess. When people battle for jurisdiction. I mean, it's in every cop procedural. It's in every movie. Kind of like you guys were joking earlier. He's got the docks, and he's like, "It's our jurisdiction." So he convinces Chief Hyde to let him do the case because what is it? The city police or the state police or whatever want to take it?
It's the sheriff's department. It makes no sense.
Not only does that make no sense, I have no idea why RVJ isn't the lead cop, because Tom Hanks is like, "You ever been on a murder before?" And RVJ is like, "Yeah, I've been on tons of murders. That's why I moved." And Tom Hanks is like, "This is my first one, but I'll take it."
I've seen too many murders. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's just in the script, I guess, but he lets him... That was what my dad used to say to us every time. We'd be like, "Well, why did this happen?" He'd be like, "It's in the script." That was his answer to us.
Fair. Yeah.
So now we just always
It's
say
in
that.
the Summerillion.
Yeah, he didn't want to give us any real answers or think too hard, so he just said that. Now I respect it, I guess. So he reluctantly agrees, and he takes Hooch. Is this where... the dog catchers are trying to get him, and they're like, "Oh, sir, we do this every day." And then, like, they're just getting flipped around by Hooch. I think one of them goes in the water, and the other one gets...
I think everyone just walked away.
Yeah, there's some real animal abuse going on here. This dog is getting knocked around.
It's like bloody too, right? Like they're...
Yeah. This dog is like disgusting. It's like kind of off-putting looking because its eyes are seriously kind of weird looking. It's got some pretty crazy looking eyes, but I don't know. It's got like a nice face. He's kind of... I can't explain it. This dog... His face disturbs me, but he seems like a nice enough dog where it's like, oh, I guess he'd be fun to hang out with, I guess, as long as he likes you.
We had a Mastiff, and it wasn't the same type, but we had a Neapolitan Mastiff. This is a French Mastiff. They have weird eyes. They really do. Like, you nailed it. They have really weird eyes, but they're really good dogs. And like, the movie Sandlot, that's a Mastiff. It's a Bull Mastiff. It's the biggest one. But
oh, great dog movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The Beast? Can't believe nobody thought of that, but somebody all thought was Air Bud.
Dude,
all right.
I'm just saying, Dog Court is incredible, all right?
I think they probably have a TV show about Dog Court.
They really should.
Hey, $1 million idea, Stevie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we'll just skip through... He basically has a heck of a time getting Hooch into the car. And then they take him to the police station, and then he leaves him in the car. Because he doesn't seem to know anything about dogs, especially dogs like kind of Pappy said, he kind of like a ruffian type dog. He's just kind of maybe not taken care of that well, but probably not like abused or anything. So,
Brett, I will say that this section of the movie, and this isn't a rip on it, it's kind of unique in filmmaking because it takes them like 12 minutes of screen time to move like 25 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but go ahead, take it a little further. Go ahead and talk about it.
Just that whole scene of trying to get him in the car.
I don't know, just whatever you like about it or dislike about it.
Yeah, I
feel like Josh does not like the pacing of this movie.
No. I honestly don't. That was not a rip. It was just interesting that it's kind of like a little bottle piece here for a little while they're inside his house, slowly get him outside. Tom Hanks takes over, and it's just like him and the dog battling for like 8 minutes straight here. It's pretty crazy.
I think they're trying to set up how unruly and how difficult he is to handle. I mean, yeah, maybe 8 to 12 minutes is a little long.
I watched this YouTube video. It's about, I forget what it was called. I wish I could plug it, but it was like the theory of like monster cuteness in movie. And basically it's like the cuter the animal or monster, the less time on screen it takes to be endured to it as an audience. So like Gremlins, if you actually watch it, like Gizmo isn't really even on screen as much as you think, but like you need to spend, I feel like, a lot of time with a crazy ass looking dog like this in order to fall in love with it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I guess we'll move on. He chews the crap out of his car, which, as we kind of talked about, I think they showed he's like proud of his car and how clean it is. So this was, one of the things to show that Hooch is kind of taken over. And then, Pap, you kind of told me a funny story today about the vet. Why don't you go ahead and take what happens next?
Oh, so like before he even pulls up to the vet, my fiance Tanya was like, "I bet he's gonna fall in love with the vet." And then as soon as Mayor Winningham, is that her name, walks out, I was like, "Yeah, you're right. He's gonna fall in love with the vet." But
I call her Leah Thompson Light.
Okay,
That's who I thought it was.
but I mean, she's like a pretty interesting character. She seems to be more sexually mature than Tom Hanks in a lot of ways. She knows what she wants. She's the vet in town, and she's also got a lady dog who Hooch likes,
Camille.
But I mean, yeah, she pretty much just kind of she berates Tom Hanks at first for not taking care of the dog, but then like at the end of the conversation, she's like, "You married? You have a girlfriend? You live alone?" And like Tom Hanks thinks she's like hitting on him, and she's like, "Perfect, you should take the dog home." And that's kind of
Yeah, because he wants her to keep Hooch.
You're buttering me up for something. I just can't help but think that this dog is going to be a lot better off with someone like you than with someone like me, because I don't know.
Are you married?
No.
You live alone then?
Yeah.
House or an apartment?
House.
Yeah, you have a girlfriend?
No.
Well, perfect.
Perfect for who?
Perfect for Hooch.
For who? How?
When you're home, he'll keep you company, and when you're gone, he'll take care of your house. You're lucky to have him.
Basically, I don't know if I really mentioned it, but the reason Hooch is still a factor is because he's the only, air quotes, witness, and, so they keep him. They're hoping that in a small town he can find out what's going on, so.
dogs can definitely see in 3D or 2D, right?
I used to think no, but my dog barks at the TV all the time.
Same. Yeah.
My other dogs never did, so I don't know if it's because it's 4K or whatever.
Evolution, man.
My friend Brandon's dog always barked at his pug always barked at the TV. So
Well, they have two eyes that are offset, so yeah, they see in 3D. But is their brain smart enough and capable enough to like determine what's real? And I don't know.
I'm just saying, my dog
plays
barks at
PS4.
animals on TV and like cartoons. He doesn't bark at like people.
My dog got 10 kills on Fortnite last night, dude.
Dang.
All right, so yeah, we kind of mentioned it earlier. Turner, he's a really structured man with a routine, and Hooch just being there is just really throwing him out of whack. I think he ties him up outside and he's trying to sleep, and I think Hooch just keeps barking and barking and barking, and he tries to get him to shut up, and he never can. Is this when he brings him and takes him into the utility closet after a while?
Yeah, this is a classic Tom Hanks
Screaming.
yelling angrily.
He does it so well.
I love the way he yells. Yeah, he's like Jerry Seinfeld, where he gets angry, but it doesn't sound angry to anybody.
So perfect. That's a perfect comparison, dude. That's awesome.
Just kind of yelling into the night sky, and his neighbor yells back at him like, "Shut up!" And he's like, "I'm trying, Hooch. What do you want me to do?" He's like pleading with the dog to shut up, and it's not working.
What is it? What? If you're hungry, finish the hamburgers. Eat the buns. Eat the buns. You're not thirsty. You're not touching the water, the orange juice, crabapple. What am I supposed to do? Make you a margarita?
I don't remember how he gets. What happens that night after he lets him in?
Oh, Hooch walks in the door, but then he locks Hanks out on the way in.
Oh, yeah.
And Tom Hanks has to crawl in through the window.
The first of many scenes where we see Tom Hanks in tidy blackies.
Why? There's so much of
underwear.
Turner and
A lot of taint.
I haven't seen this much taint since Tom Cruise in Legend.
I'm just glad somebody got that. Okay.
I mean, there's some unflattering angles in this movie with Tom Hanks in his black underwear. It's odd.
But it doesn't have quite the fan following as Tom Cruise does in all the right moves.
It should dethrone Tom Cruise's taint.
I've also never seen black tighty whities before. I've never seen the tactical tighty whities.
Tactical.
He's a cop. He has to stay incognito when the lights are out. So we get to another, I don't know, one of the more classic scenes of the movie the next night. Turner goes out and buys a bunch of dog food and supplies and all stuff like that. And Josh, you're the dog expert on this. Why don't you tell us what Hooch gets up to?
Why do you keep calling me the dog expert?
Hey, Stevie, why don't you tell us what Hooch gets up to here?
I can't because I cried.
Really? Right here?
Yeah, dude, I can't watch scenes like this. It literally gave me the worst anxiety.
You know what? I'm with you. I use the same way when I see teen angst movies where they're destroying their trophies and they're taking a baseball bat to their stuff. I'm like, oh, dude, don't do that.
It wasn't just that. I got anxiety watching Tom Hanks not buy that much and still spend $100 in 1989.
$97.55.
That was scary. Yeah.
Dogs are expensive, man.
Go to someone else, though. I can't talk about that scene.
Josh, you want to take it?
Brett, I wasn't rebuking you a minute ago.
No, that's all right. I had realized that I hadn't called on Stevie in a while, so.
No, you're good.
It's like the movie Chucky when he sees the nice guys and he's making the breakfast in bed for his mom.
Chucky.
And he walks across the floor spilling milk and eggs.
Yeah.
And just stepping and grinding. Except it's a dog and it's ruining Tom Hanks' bachelor pad, basically. Everything.
I would shoot this dog. This would not be a problem anymore.
He says that. Doesn't he say doesn't he say he's going to shoot him?
Yeah.
I love when he busts through the door, though, with his head. You might have to suspend belief a little bit, but...
It's like Coven.
Exactly. Like Cujo.
And how much money is Tom Hanks making as a library investigator to redo his entire house like that?
The house that he's leaving.
Cost of living is probably pretty low there. Probably not. There's water and it's California, so probably not. Never mind. I don't know. It's in the script.
He's a hard worker.
It's in the script. I like that.
He's pretty meticulous. He doesn't spend much on other
$95.71 in 1989 is $200 today. How?
It's a lot of dog food.
That's a whole lot of hooch. That's for sure. Yeah, so I think it's pretty funny when Turner's going through the house and he's enraged but calm. Tom Hanks enraged, if you know what I mean. Isn't he kind of nodding his head like a psychopath when he's looking at his records? He's got these big old subwoofers that are just destroyed. I think he picks up one of his records and it's just got slobber just coming right off of it.
Yeah, so gross.
So much slobber.
We've established him as someone who likes to finish something that he starts. And in this scene, we see him half-heartedly cleaning a couple eggs, putting a couple erasers back. He's devastated.
This isn't the night where he gives him a bath, is it?
I think it's the next morning. When he starts to turn the corner with Hooch.
That's pretty funny. Wait, is it? I'm sorry. Is it the night he goes to sleep and he tells the dog not to come in there and the dog creeps in? Because that cracked me up. It doesn't matter. This movie was snubbed for so many Oscars. Let's see. Where am I at? So Turner kicks. Turner kicks Hooch out, and then he goes to his girlfriend's house. See Camille, and then they both come back to his house. So he's like, oh crap, I'm going to take them both. Hey, maybe if I'm lucky, I can unload them both on her, which is his plan. So he sneaks to Emily's house and they both go into the doggy door. And I think this is kind of where Pappy's review takes place. What was your review, Pappy?
Hooch fucks.
Yeah. So, that happened there. But as he's trying to leave, Emily catches him, and they go inside, and they have this really weird painting party, and they kind of...
This scene was terrible. I hated this. It was so
I thought
awkward.
they had pretty good chemistry, but yeah, it was definitely awkward. But either way, yeah, I get it.
Who is this movie for? Like, why is this for little kids? Because they explicitly like talk about sex and like humping the vet later on. Like
the greatest line in the entire movie by far.
Who? But it's I don't know.
She grinds on his wiener
while whisking eggs. It was very erotic.
While he criticizes her cooking.
That was later. That was after they do it.
There's a lot of jizz in this movie.
Yeah, he just didn't unload dogs on her. I'll tell you what.
Oh.
But yeah, I could see it, Pappy. It was kind of awkward. I thought his flirting was decent for not having a lot of experience, but it pretty much basically brings up that he likes her, kind of, but he's leaving, so he's kind of just like, hey, I can't do anything. She seems to obviously like him as well.
I don't want it.
So the next day, Tom Hanks takes Hooch to the precinct, and he does the old classic move where you put the leash handle under the...
Oh, that's not going to work on this dog.
No. So, Mikey, what does Hooch see outside?
Across the street is like what, city hall or something?
Something like that, or a church.
Yeah, our church. And there's the wedding going on that we talked about earlier in the movie. Because we got to remember that a crime happened in this movie. We've gone about 35 minutes now without even addressing the crime.
2 men have been murdered.
Yeah, at this point I've totally forgotten that this was a cop movie. This is more of just a Tom Hanks and dog movie. But Hooch sees the killer of Amos across the street. He's at this wedding, and he's just barking uncontrollably. And then he ends up dragging Turner's desk all over the place inside the police station because he's just going nuts.
Does that give you anxiety, Stevie?
No, it didn't give me anxiety. What gave me anxiety was the fact, like, when he's, like, running out in the street, and they're also chasing him, they didn't play The Heat Is On by Kenny Loggins again. There's so many movies that missed that song.
That's Glenn Frey.
Is it Glenn Frey? My bad. But they need to play that song in every, like, chase movie to the end of time. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it's classic in Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm.
It's future spoilers pick for me, probably. So yeah, Mikey was talking about that it kind of just destroys the precinct. It gets outside, it chases him. The guy gets into his car, and they kind of hijack some guy's car, right?
Yeah, it's like some high school's kid. I forget his name. High schooler's kid.
And he's got like groceries in the car, and they
immediately ruined by Hooch.
Yeah.
The other weird thing about that chase is they're presumably going pedal to the metal because Tom Hanks says the car can't go any faster, but it looks like they're going 15 miles an hour. Whatever.
They don't catch him. I can't remember exactly how, but they find out who the henchman is, who's got the least. I would not expect his name to be this, but his name is Zach. So this doesn't sound like a murderer henchman to me. His name's Zach Gregory. And Hanks, this is a kind of a callback to earlier in the movie where we didn't talk about it, but Turner says that the murder on Amos seems like it was done by someone who's done it before, professional. I don't remember why, but he didn't.
The way his lung was stabbed.
A knife.
It was,
so
he couldn't scream because it hit his lung.
Yeah, isn't that a Christopher Lee reference? Something stabbed in the back, Peter Jackson. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It all comes back to LOTR.
So yeah, he's a former Marine. So now Turner starts to think that Amos was killed to cover up something and not just a random whatever. Sorry, I'll try to get through this a little bit. So Turner, he convinces his boss to get a search warrant for Buoyant Seafood. He's pretty happy. They're like celebrating, but Hooch is really sad. And this is kind of the time where they show that Turner and Hooch are starting to, kind of bond a little bit. Cause Hooch has only pretty much had one buddy his whole life, and it was that grumpy old man. So, Pappy, why don't you go ahead and tell us what happens at when they serve the warrant at the seafood place.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why they don't find anything. Well, I guess Craig T.
Yes,
Nelson
you do.
Craig T. Nelson probably tips him off, but like Tom Hanks later says something like, they thought it was coming in, but it's going out or something like that. But anyway, they search everywhere. Like Tom Hanks is like poking lobsters with poles. The FBI is like looking under stuff, and they don't find any money. So the whole search is basically a failure.
Yeah, and that basically kind of coincides with his 3 days being up, and he's kind of getting ready to go, and Craig T. Nelson takes him off the case and gives it to Carl Winslow. So Turner's pretty bummed that he can't solve the case, so he meets up with Emily, and then, they go back to his place, and
they have a religious experience.
Yeah, and then they were talking about the grinding and the dry humping where he's making eggs or whatever.
Eggs on eggs on eggs.
I don't remember what sparks him to have his eureka moment.
She literally threw his ass on him. Then he said, "That's it!" I don't know why that happened.
Yeah.
Is the whole thing that he just needed to have sex and clear his head, and then everything becomes clear?
That's the moral of every story.
It's a superpower.
So yeah, it clears your brain up. So he leaves in the middle of the night, apparently, and they go back to the factory and they do a stakeout. And this was always like my dad's favorite line in the movie. I think this is when he says something like, "It looks like you ate a shoe," and like the laces are coming out of the side. Is that when the slobber's coming out when they're in the car?
It's disgusting. That can't be natural for that dog. Is that fake? Is that fake slobber? Because that is just so much.
I think that's real. I mean,
CGI,
dogs,
bro.
Oh my god! How can anybody live with that?
The only dog that slobber we had was the Mastiff.
You're constantly cleaning up after that, unless you just live on slobber slick floors all the time. I mean, I don't understand what is going on. How could you live with that animal?
You just get a towel and wipe it off. It's like what my mom used to do to the St. Bernards, and my brother used to do with his Great Dane.
That thing is the master of the house at that point.
Yeah, it's true.
Brett, I think, is that scene almost like Judd Apatow-ish? Like, it's almost like Tom Hanks just ad-libbing for a couple of hours in that car.
That's exactly what it was, because I saw an interview with the director, and he said it was all ad-libbing because you can't, he was riffing off what the dog was doing. You can't write a script for the dog. Whatever the dog does is kind of where Tom Hanks had to follow it. So I think you're right. I don't know if they did the hours of Line-A-Palooza that Judd Apatow does, but I think that's a pretty keen observation.
They were feeding Hooch so many lines, and he just wasn't using them.
A lot of jizz in this movie.
A lot of jizz.
All over that record. So this is where the biggest crime since the beginning of the movie takes place, where Turner illegally searches the factory again, which would almost certainly lead to a conviction being thrown out, but we don't have to deal with that, luckily. But he goes back in, and Carl Winslow meets him with the bag of money, and he lets Hooch take a sniff, and then he goes and he finds the bags in the factory, which...
I like how that's enough proof that how many types of Ziploc bags fucking exist in the world, but just because...
Yep, they're Ziploc.
I think it was to add to the fact that Amos said something was up. The guy was with Boyette. Actually, no, he didn't know that. But I don't know. He's supposed to... The guy, Zach, works at Boyette, and he found that out. So... I think it's all just kind of tying in together. I'm with you. It's pretty weak, but I think he was looking for confirmation on his theory as opposed to finding any super hard evidence. But
why is Zach alive?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like, if the police chief is the head of this masterminding ring,
why wouldn't he kill him to get rid of the...
Why wouldn't he kill him and just end it? To say, oh, we got him. And leave it at that. Like, why is Zach alive at this point? This seems like really poor calculations by Craig T.
Maybe it happens so quickly. I mean, it all happens within like 12 hours of them finding him, and maybe 24 hours of them finding him. And that's a good question. I don't even think I thought about that.
He's Rambo. He's like a Green Beret, right?
Well, that's true. Marine. He's a Marine, but that's true. That's somebody you don't really want to A, mess with, and B, that's the guy you want on your payroll.
Yeah, if the head of police is paying this guy, and the guy you're paying F's up, you're going to say, hey, we're going to have a meeting and clean this all up. Bada bing, bada boom. Done.
Josh, is Craig T. Nelson as good of a guy as Brian Dennehy is in Rambo? Is that what you're trying to say?
Ooh. That's a good question.
He just wants to keep the status quo.
Vietnam.
So we're on the home stretch here, guys. So I don't remember. Yeah, Turner goes to a place called Lazy Acres Motel, which is where Zach Gregory is supposed to be staying. He's interrogating the motel owner, and someone want to kind of explain the next 3 or 4 minutes of this movie when he's talking to the motel owner?
It's absolutely absurd. Like, you said what he did before was illegal. He shoots his gun at a private citizen who's totally within his rights to not be answering these questions. Like, Tom Hanks is going to jail at this point.
He's gone rogue.
It's these very actions that got him promoted to police chief, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's painting the city at the end. But he gets snuck up on by, what's the guy's name?
Sack.
Zach, the henchman.
The Sack.
Yeah. And they get in the car, and Tom Hanks buckles his seatbelt.
Great move, by the way.
The bad guy doesn't, and he goes like 50 miles an hour into a concrete wall, and the dude flies out of the windshield and somehow isn't paralyzed or dead after that.
Hey, that was a good stunt. That looked pretty cool, because he definitely goes through the windshield, and he flies pretty far, and it's going pretty fast, so I don't know how they pulled that off without that guy dying.
I think they just shot it backwards.
He jumped from the ground back into the car and picked up all the pieces of glass and assembled them.
Plus, this scene is like kind of a teaser into our next movie that we'll be doing.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, the fix is in on trivia, guys.
I don't know. It's definitely not. Okay, so this is kind of a callback to the beginning of the stunt that somebody liked. I don't remember. Turner interrogates Zach, and Hooch has him by the throat. And Mikey, why don't you give us some of the things that we find out from Zach, the henchman, or at least a couple things.
Scott interrogates Zach, and then he reveals that Zach killed Amos, which Scott's pretty bummed about because he was friends with Amos a little bit, and he's upset that he now has to take care of Hooch because of it. And he also reveals that Boyette is in on this illegal money trading going in at the factory.
Well, yeah, one more big thing. You nailed 2 of the 3 big things you said.
He doubles down.
Yeah, this is the part I don't understand is just the chief shows up and he's like, oh yeah, I'm in on this too.
Well, that's the thing. The Zach told him that Boyette was not in charge. So that kind of made Turner think, well, who's got something who's going to be in charge of the richest guy in town? So I don't remember exactly why the chief shows up, but they're kind of they're acting like they're looking for Boyette, but Turner's definitely suspicious of him and then confronts him.
Well, Craig T breaks into the fishing factory with Tom Hanks, like they're gonna
looking for Boyette,
scope out this thing together.
Yeah,
and then he eventually turns on him when they're inside the factory. So there's a little backstabbing going on here by Craig T. Nelson, but he ends up getting his comeuppance because Hooch, who was previously shot in a scuffle, bites him in the calf and then takes him out. Well, Tom Hanks struggles with him with the shotgun and then blows him away.
Man, you just went through like 4 bullet points in like 30 seconds. That was awesome. Thank you for doing that. I could have made that a lot more dramatic, but yeah, I mean, the scene is pretty sad when Hooch is creeping up on Boyette and jumps at him and then gets shot. And then Chief just shoots Boyette, I think, and he tries to convince Tom Hanks to come over to his side, but he realizes that's never going to happen because Tom Hanks is too...
Tom Hanks.
Well, now you guys are making me think that he's not a very nice and honest cop because he's shooting his gun at people and... doing illegal searches.
It's not that he's not nice. He's just inept, Brett.
Oh, yeah? Then why is he going to the big city, Stevie? Explain that.
Because they had to get him out of there. He was shooting everybody every other weekend.
Shuffling him around.
In the big city, they can hide that kind of thing.
He was doing a 2-hole punch in the top of his 8x11.5s like a weirdo.
Marks of a serial killer.
I have a Stevie question because I really want to know.
Yes.
Who is this movie for?
No one knows.
Like, what age group? Like, when? Because, like, Jeffrey Katzenberg, who we've talked about a lot, like, produced this movie. Steve, like, what do you think
Love the cats.
target demo was for this movie?
Strangely, and it's weird I say this, I think it was marketed for... I think it was marketed for families with young children, but I think the demographic truly was for 25 to 35. And it's really strange I say that, because it's such a weird thing to do.
It's PG, which surprised me. I thought for sure it'd be PG-13.
It's a Disney movie, but it was distributed under Touchstone. So it's like they didn't want to brand it as Disney, but it still has like... It's like a Disney movie with like an outer shell of like a more adult movie. But at its core, there's still that like all the Disney beats. It's really weird.
Yeah,
Disney
I say
original.
25 to 35.
This is like a movie that my parents would not have hesitated to show us when we were 9 or 10, but it's like a movie that there's no way my brother would show his 9-year-old kid right now. So it is kind of confusing. It's weird.
Josh, you're a parent. I'm assuming you wouldn't show your kids this movie.
PG. Let's go.
I'm with you.
Buckle them up.
You're going to subject your daughters to Tom Hanks' taint?
Oh, God.
Honestly, it's that scene where Mari Winningham like grinds on Tom Hanks. I don't know. That's pretty explicit for a PG, I feel like. He's like, oh, that's sensitive on my wiener. I like that.
That's exactly what he said.
Eureka! I figured out the case.
He got the big
Your
R.
ass is off the case.
And that's how the character Woody was born.
All right, so let's finish this off. So Turner rushes Hooch to the vet, and he's crying, he's devastated, and she tries to save him, but actually you don't technically see Hooch dying, right? Because they want you to be surprised on the next scene, correct?
You know he's dead.
In my head, he's still alive.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Stevie. You know he's dead, but at the same time, they try to kind of funnily trick you. Like the last outro scene is, this is going to make everyone laugh probably, but Turner becomes the chief of police. He gets rewarded for all of his illegal deeds.
That dude should be in jail.
David becomes the lead investigator. Good on you, Carl. Turner and Emily get married, and Camille's got some babies. Now, this is the time you need to suspend your disbelief probably the most. But you see a bunch of puppies. I think it's what are they? Are they border collies? I can't remember.
Lassies, yeah.
Lassies.
Yeah, so collie. And
Lassies.
Turner comes home and he's like looking through the house, and maybe in the back of your mind the first time you watch it, you're like, oh, please God, let it be Hooch. Tell me Hooch didn't die, because they're talking about him. He's knocked the lamps over and he's been chewing on stuff. And then he goes into a closet and you open the door and it's baby Hooch.
Aww.
So where you need to suspend disbelief is, that's not really how mutts work. But I'm glad they did it that way.
Only God can judge that. What are you talking about? You don't know how they're going to come out, Brett.
Well, my mom's a dog breeder, but I guess...
So how would they come out?
They come out as, like, mutts, hybrids. You ever heard, like, a cockapoo or a Bernese mountain dog?
And some are more towards Lassie, some are more towards the Hooch. He's the Hooch one.
First of all, I think any dog that Hooch is having sex with is going to die. I don't think any dog is going to survive that process.
Shit.
Explain yourself, Mikey.
No. Hooch is a monster.
Why, Mikey?
He's just... I don't think he's a very gentle lover. I don't think any dog would survive Hooch's love.
A lot of jizz in this movie.
Definitely a family movie. So that is Turner and Hooch, and just a fun fact that Pappy and I were talking about. Henry Winkler was the original director for this movie. He was fired after 13 days from Stevie's boy, Jeffrey Katzenberg fired him.
My boy.
And the quote that Henry Winkler said during the Howard Stern show like 10 years ago is, let's just say I got along better with Hooch than I did with Turner.
Oh, wow.
That's hard to imagine. Fonzie and Tom Hanks fighting. They both seem like such likable dudes.
Yeah, it is really weird for sure. Another side question. Is anybody here, did you guys watch Scrubs?
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the Turner and Hooch gag? There's two doctors. There's a Dr. Turner and a Dr. Hooch, and the JD and Turk like mess with the schedule to get them to work together because they think it's hilarious that's Turner and Hooch. And the guy who plays Dr. Turner is actually Jim Hanks, who is Tom Hanks' brother.
Oh. Nice.
So I thought that was pretty funny. And that is actually all I have. So we can do some final thoughts if you have them. I know let's peel this onion.
I heard
the layers of this onion back.
I heard that they shot 2 endings for it, one where Hooch lives and one where Hooch dies, and they literally had a test screening, like one theater had the one where he dies and one theater had the one where he lives, and that it wasn't so much that the one where he dies had a better cinema score, it's that it got a more visceral reaction.
More emotional. Yeah.
Do you guys think that was a good choice? I guess should Hooch have died?
Tom Hanks does not, I'll tell you that.
I don't think anybody wants to hear how I think it should have played out.
I do.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, in the beginning of the movie, when he's being, like, pulled into the vet, Tom Hanks repeatedly says, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna shoot you. And I think it would have been amazing if he ended up shooting Hooch on accident in the warehouse, but he lived.
Holy fuck.
But he lived. It would have come full circle because at that point, he would have gladly put that dog down and had no reaction to it whatsoever. But as the movie went on and his arc was coming full circle with the dog, if he would have shot him and been heartbroken, that'd have been a good arc to end on, and Hooch should have lived. So that's just me.
You know what? I'm glad Hooch died. But I agree. Tom Hanks should have shot Hooch, but he dies. That's what I wanted.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Tom should have been the one to shoot him, not Boyette.
I honestly wasn't expecting him to die at all, really, because it's a Disney movie. Well, sort of a pseudo-Disney movie, as we're kind of figuring out. But I didn't really expect that. But I don't know if it would have made the movie any better, because we never would have got Baby Hooch, which looks exactly the same. I'm pretty sure they just filmed this ending, they just filmed Hooch as a baby and then decided to pick up production after Hooch was fully grown.
Hooch was like 9 years old.
The fact that they got another dog that looks like exactly like him is pretty amazing. Unless it's just like his baby or whatever, but I don't know. It would have been nice to see like Hooch with all of his babies running around.
Yeah, what I'm wondering about the movie, is there a deeper association with Hooch and alcohol? Like, does he pick up, is this a euphemism for he picked up a habit from a Pappy-like character and had to like kick the habit and a girl helped him through it?
Learn to love the habit.
That's possible.
Pappy's learned to love the habit.
But Tom Hanks has said before that he thinks the movie would have done better if Hooch would have lived. Now, again, it was a box office. It wasn't like a smash, but it made back, I don't know, 5 or 6 times its budget, so it did pretty well.
Because they show a lot of Miller Lite in this movie.
Yeah, so Pappy, you got any more questions? I meant to bring that up, but I forgot.
Well, my only other final thought is that a Brett movie has never received a no. Just wanted to put that in the ether.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, so let's go ahead.
Could be historic.
Let's go ahead and start with east to west. Let's just start with the order I did this morning. Mikey.
You know what? The plot is not here. But for some reason, that doesn't take anything away from the movie because it's more of just a goofy... It's just Tom Hanks running around with a monster is what this movie is. And he's getting into all sorts of hijinks. It's more of just like...
buddy cop.
What kind of crazy stuff this dog can get into. I totally forgot that there was a crime in this movie until like the last 15 minutes. But I thought it was a funny movie. I was laughing a lot throughout most of it. There's a lot of montages. Not a lot of like imperative dialogue that you need to hang on to every word or anything, so you can kind of space out while you're watching it. But it's a funny movie. I don't know who it's marketed to at all. I mean, we just went through some of the more risque things in the movie, and I don't know if anybody at Disney really thought about that. But I'll give it a soft yes. I think it's I don't recommend like watching it more than once. I just don't think it has that kind of rewatchability, but it's fun to watch Tom Hanks just play the part of neurotic guy. When he does that character so well, and him doing this with an animal, a very big animal on set, is like really kind of hilarious to watch. So I'll give it a soft yes.
Cool. Josh?
I have in my notes, it's actually my last note, Tom Hanks isn't good enough to save this film. I was watching this and I asked my wife, hey, what are those type of movies called where it's just like an actor kind of alone during the movie a lot? And she was like, a boring movie? I was like, oof. But like, this isn't even Tom Hanks' like best movie where he's going solo dolo with like an inanimate object or something. Wilson! Like you got Castaway, you have The Terminal.
Don't say anymore. Please don't name any more movies.
So, anyway, I love the reference to the big R, though, in this movie. There's actually a big R around here that I like to shop at a lot in Dunlap, Indiana. They actually call it Stock and Field of Elkhart now.
It's nice in there.
Yeah, it's really cool. But ultimately, I'm giving this movie a yes, Brett. It's got just enough character development with Turner and Hooch. It's just you got me on the heartstrings, Brett, because it's just a little quirky, and I don't like dogs, and I don't like dogs in slow motion, but this is the softest of soft yes.
All right, cool. I wasn't like trying to be a dick. You'll understand why I stopped you. I think everyone kind of gets it now.
Say no more, fam.
Anyway, Stevie?
Oh, man. I've been thinking about this one for hours now. Jeez, this is going to be like the razor thinnest, softest yes I can possibly give. Like...
Too much anxiety?
No, it's just a thin movie. And I don't feel like there's like a high amount of rewatchability to it. But I really enjoy watching Tom Hanks on screen for some odd reason. I think he is just the dude. So...
Got that juice.
He's got it, man. He's whisking eggs and shit.
Got that juice.
A lot of juice in this movie.
Unloading dogs and unloading other things on the vet. But, yeah, I'm going to say, like Josh said, this has just enough. And I do think the dog, Hooch, I think his name is Beasley in real life.
Yep.
Was adorable. That dog seems adorable. And just, actually, it's a really good actor. And I think, for a lot of productions, working with animals is hell. Brett, did you read anything if Beasley was in any trouble on set?
No, they actually had, I think, Pappy probably looked it up too. I think they had they had two other dogs, but he was good. He was fun. He wasn't like an actor either. Like, they bought him and a guy trained him for the movie. So,
breakout role.
Jeez.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say softest of yeses, but it's a good watch. I just kind of wish they would have done the ending a bit different.
Yeah. Cool. Pat?
Well, first of all, I'd like to commend Brett for picking a very borderline movie. We've all given Brett a lot of shit for his all yeses, and I thought he responded to that criticism really well and picked a movie that I'm ultimately going to give his first no to. It's just, I found that this is like the most average movie I've ever seen in my life, and the premise plays more like a television show, like a cable television show, like a cop and a dog who go around solving crimes. Like, I guess it was made into a television show that totally flopped, but it's not a good enough movie to earn the emotional ending that I was trying to get to, and I think Stevie spoiled it on our last movie, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, that Hooch dies. So I was like dreading it, and like I cry at like every movie now, but like I wasn't even close to tears. I was just like, I can't believe they're actually doing this. So I feel like if the big emotional beat doesn't hit, that's just enough to kind of tilt it into the no column. But there are a lot of good things in this movie. I like it's just fun to watch Tom Hanks. He's just an extremely likable guy, but he's not enough to save this movie for me.
All right, let it be known to everyone that Pappy is vindictive and he's doing this to hurt me because, and I quote, "It was a very average movie, but I'll give it a yes," end quote, Pappy quote. Okay, so...
I rewatched it today, and I had a terrible time doing
Everyone
it.
Everyone knows now.
The streak's over, Cal Ripken. It's done.
You're welcome.
You're through.
You finally got your no, yeah.
This is I would say a solid yes for me. I grew up with this movie. Maybe that's the difference. I've watched it a bunch of times. I think it has rewatchability because, as Mikey said, it's just kind of hilarious to watch Tom Hanks yell. He does such a good job at it. And I always thought the dog was hilarious. Like, everything the dog did was funny and cute. So I won't spend any more time on it, but it's a solid yes for me. So
why do people like Tom Hanks yelling but hate Leonardo DiCaprio yelling?
That's a good question.
Leo has an aggressive yell, man.
Yeah.
It's blood curdling.
Leo.
I don't like to listen to it. It's off-putting.
He looks like he's not afraid to yell at you and then throw $1,000 in your face. Just to get out of his way. Tom Hanks will yell at you and then throw a typewriter at you. Like a gentleman.
all right, so our order for longest to most recent is Mikey, Josh, Stevie, and Judas.
Whoa.
Judas is Pappy it.
That's my name.
Papa Dick Arnold. All right, so this is pretty straightforward. You're gonna guess a Tom Hanks movie. I just to let the crowd know, I gave them a blank sheet with all the letters of the alphabet that his movies start with, and the number of movies that start with that letter, and everyone's going to be getting one pass. So if it comes around to you and it's on the tip of your tongue, you can't think of it, you can pass, and then you get like an extra round to come back. Except Mikey gets 2 passes. If you miss one or you don't get one, you're out.
Nice.
So, Mikey, I guess it's up to you. Do you like to go first?
Wait, quick question.
Yeah.
How do articles come into play?
Okay, yeah, two things. Articles do not count as the start of the letter of the movie.
Okay.
So that's your thes and your a's, ands. And secondly, there are movies that have a number behind them, like in a series, only count as 1.
Boo. Okay.
Boo!
Come on, guys. We knew what there was going to go. It's just going to be a waste of a round. So, Mikey,
Boo.
like to go first?
I'm just guessing 1.
Yeah.
All right. T, Turner and Hooch.
Yeah. All right, so Josh is up.
T, Toy Story, 1 through 4.
Yep. Stevie?
Let's go with... can I do a different one?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Keep doing T.
No, do whatever you want.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll do C, Cloud Atlas.
Yep.
F, Forrest Gump.
This was the last one I got.
P, Philadelphia.
Yep. Josh?
P, Polar Express.
I was going to use that one.
Nice. Stevie?
B for Big.
Pat?
S, Saving Private Ryan.
Mikey?
G, The Green Mile.
Ooh, that's good.
Yep.
A, Apollo 13.
Nice. Steve?
This is the worst movie I ever saw in theaters. I'll go with C, The Circle.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Spoilers movie.
I didn't know he was in that. What does he do in that?
You don't want to know.
This is Steve Jobs.
He's Steve Jobs.
Don't want to know. He's Steve Jobs.
I'll stick with C, The first Spoilers movie, the preview episode, Castaway.
Mikey?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Pass.
Oof. Early.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything.
I mentioned this during the pod, and it's when you yelled at me. Terminal.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for yelling. I just figured it would be bad if you kept going.
Right, we've been friends.
I was going to go on a run, so thanks, Brad.
We've been friends for so long. I would never break up with you like Eric Clapton would with Cream.
Great.
Well, I appreciate that.
So natural.
Stevie, you're up.
Let's see. Let's go with Tom Hanks got his groove back. L for Larry Crown.
Nice.
Another Spoilers movie. I think this is all of the Spoilers movies. Another Brett pick are Road to Perdition.
Ooh.
Yep. Back at you, Mikey.
You
You got some. Take your time. You got some time. Just don't go crazy.
Well, see, we only watch funny Tom Hanks movies. I don't watch any of his serious. This is the middle-aged Tom Hanks trying to get over a divorce movies.
There's a lot of funny movies. A lot of funny movies in here still.
Stop with the clues.
I'm rooting for Mikey.
I know. I'm so bad at naming movies.
I told Brittany that. I said Mikey's going to be bad at this.
I don't even know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to bow out.
You got another pass.
Oh, okay. I'll pass again.
Because you get the advantage.
Do we get any misses or just passes?
No, you don't get any misses. You have to use your pass wisely.
Oh.
One miss and you're out. You guys all running low?
I'm passing.
Okay. Josh?
For some reason, when Mikey was talking there, Catch Me If You Can
Nice.
popped in there.
Ah, damn it.
So C, Catch Me If You Can.
Stevie?
Let's go with C. Charlie Wilson's Wah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Nice. I think this would be an L for A League of Their Own.
Yep. Hilarious Hanks movie. This is going to be the end of Mikey, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Larry Crown? Was he in that?
I already said it.
Yeah, he said it.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
You're going to be really mad when I read off some of these at the end, but okay, Mikey's out. Josh?
Stevie already said Big, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate cinema.
You have a pass, right, Josh?
Yeah, I'll use the pass.
Stevie?
I can't remember if this is a Coen movie or not, but I remember not liking it as a kid. This is The Lady Killers.
It is the Coen movie. That was definitely a bomb by them, I believe.
It was terrible.
A movie they wrote, Bridge of Spies. B.
Yep.
What did you just say?
Did they write that?
Yeah, they wrote Bridge of Spies. Yeah.
Nice.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's impressive. Josh?
B. Band of Brothers.
That's not. These are.
Does that count?
These are theater movies, by the way.
That wasn't one of your clauses.
Okay, well, I'm giving you a break then. These are theater. Everything is these are theater movies.
Band of Brothers, the movie.
Great guess.
All right, Josh, you out then? Yeah, Josh is out. Stevie?
Let's go with a movie that really sets the tone for lovemaking. Let's go with Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh. Let's go with the other one just like that. You've Got Mail.
Yes!
Classic. That's my
He's in
jam.
both of those?
Yeah, he's a star of both of them, man. And they're both Meg Ryan vehicles.
Dude, this is his middle-aged white woman turn. He had a big run of movies that was big with divorced white women.
I thought one of those had the guy from Mad About You in it.
Paul Reiser? No. Stevie?
Pretty much the same guy.
That's Castaway.
Let's go with Future Spoilers movie. Joe versus the Volcano.
I kept waiting for you.
Oh, I just thought of another one.
I'll go with a movie that I saw in theaters with my cousin Adam. D, The Da Vinci Code.
Ah! Yep. Stevie? This is a battle.
After the Da Vinci Code, there was Angels and Demons.
So why couldn't we go Toy Story 1 through 4?
Because they're different titles.
I'd made the distinction.
Once Craig T. Nelson was defeated, Tom Hanks said, "I'm the captain now, Captain Phillips."
Yep. Stevie?
Future spoilers movie, Splash.
Yep. More like Bags.
We were talking about this director right before the podcast, Clint Eastwood's Sully.
Yep.
Stick around till after the episode for bonus content.
Nice. Always.
You do have a pass, but Pappy's rolling right now. I don't know if I'd...
I know he is. I know I'm just... Let's go with P. This movie sucked. Oh, let's go with The Post.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Good one. How current is this list? Does a beautiful...
Every movie that's ever been released by him right now, as of right now.
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Got it.
Let's go with the movie that should not have been nominated for Best Picture.
You just said The Post.
Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Yeah, I heard that movie was a train wreck. Like, it could have been cool, but it wasn't.
How was that nominated?
It's a good book.
It came out the same year as Hugo, and they're very similar, and Hugo was a lot better. Pap?
Pass.
There's still some gettable.
Pass.
There's still some gettable ones, but we're getting into the dicey territory.
I passed.
Okay. Whew.
This was like my one to win. I've been like holding on to it. B, Bachelor Party.
Yep. Whew.
I'm tapping. I don't have any more.
Can I give you one, Brett?
I have one left, and that's the third Angels and Demons Da Vinci
I don't even know
bullshit.
what that's called. Yeah.
It's called Inferno. It's
Inferno.
my last one.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah.
First of all, everyone, congrats to Stevie for winning
job,
trivia, but
Stevie.
Josh,
Good job.
That was fun.
Nail biter.
go ahead, Josh.
I wanted to shout out to CJ Schaefer and Nick Carell.
Yes, I can't believe you didn't do the CJ Classic.
The Burbs.
The Burbs. Okay, so what we have left is the Bonfire, the Vanities, the Burbs. He's in Cars. I've never seen it, but like he's like the Woody car.
He's in Cars?
Did no one say The Green Mile?
No one
Mikey
said.
did.
I said Green Mile.
Dragnet. Every time we say goodbye, never heard of it. Elvis has left the building.
Never heard of it.
The Great Buck Howard.
Never heard of it.
He Knows You're Alone. A Hologram for the King. Never heard of either one of those. Ithaca, Inferno. The Man with One Red Shoe. The Money Pit, which is funny.
Oh, Money Pit.
Mark
Damn
Felt. Nothing in Common. Never heard of it. Punchline, and he's uncredited in the movie Radio Flyer.
What?
He's the guy he's the old guy at the beginning telling the story. I've never seen it, but Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn it.
The Simpsons movie.
Never seen it.
Oh, but
Funny.
Saving Private... Wait. Band of Brothers doesn't count, but Simpson movie counts?
Yeah, it's a
in
movie.
it. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
That Thing You Do and Volunteers, and that's it. So we are going
That
to...
man works.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's
Plus,
pretty impressive.
the producing From Earth to the Moon is really, really, really awesome if you like space at all. So we're going to kick it to Spoiler Man while we wait for Stevie to come up with this next movie.
Spoiler Man here. Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is Podcast Spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme song.
All right, and we're back. Thank you, Spoiler Man. We are going to kick it to Stevie.
This is just a movie I love, and I feel like no one saw it, and it's just genius. I think we're going to have a lot of fun talking about. talking about it. We're going to do 2014's, starring Ethan Hawke, Predestination.
Predestination.
What about the Fast and the Furious
The
pack?
fix is
Sorry,
off.
dude. Sorry.
Ethan Hawke did Boyhood and Predestination in 2014?
Boyhood took 12 years to make, though, so...
Yeah, so I guess he probably didn't have a lot to do in
No,
2014.
this is Predestination's one of my comfort films, and I think it'd be a blast to talk about it.
Cool.
Excited.
All right, well...
The comfort film.
Yeah, dude.
With Ethan Hawke?
In brutal gore.
Like, does comfort film mean different things to other people? I just think of it as like a movie I can put on as background noise and not think much about it.
Yeah.
Any movie I have to stare at Ethan Hawke's ugly mug is not a comfort film for me.
Wow.
Looks like a ferret.
Y'all haters.
Okay, so, the streak is over. I guess I could kind of get a little more funky free. I'm going to do The Godfather, Inglourious Bastards. I'm going to start doing classics now. But, rest in peace to Beasley. And, thanks.
Wait, he's dead?
Well, the movie was made in 1889.
Oh, Brett, come on, man. Ah,
You want him to be a 40-year-old dog just laying down like that old dog in Family Guy?
You look like the Night King.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Actually, probably like the mountain in season 8.
Man, I wanted to give Mikey an advantage, but like this like screamed. I try these trivia scream Stevie and Pappy, but I love trivia like this so much.
Yeah,
so I'm sorry.
Pappy got me on what's his name, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I what I kept thinking of didn't get picked, and then I didn't have.
I feel like
I had no
Pappy
idea
was
he's in
rolling.
Cars.
Pappy was rolling, and then Stevie took one of his picks, and like Pappy was never the same after that.
Yeah, that makes it tough.
It's like if you're saving on to one and that gets taken, and you've been thinking of that movie for like 3 straight minutes, that can really jack you up.
Yep.
All right, so when we come back, you want me just to tell her that we're going to watch The Collection, or...
Oh,
dude.
God.
Are you ready, Stevie?
Yeah, but I'll pick my own movie.
I'm joking, dude.
All right. What studio produced Richard Jewell?
I don't know. We're getting sued.
Yeah, they're not going to win that one.
Getting sued? For what?
Warner Brothers.
They're getting sued by the Atlanta paper that they take shots at because they were terrible and they deserve to be had shots taken at. That story made me sick, man.
Well, I mean, isn't it the journalists? I mean, aren't they saying that the journalist slept with an FBI agent to get information?
Yeah, an ex-FBI agent.
I just don't understand why include that if it's not true.
Why include that if it's not
when
true?
The whole point
but
of the
nobody
movie,
knows if it's true or not.
But when the whole point of the movie is like media shouldn't slander people, isn't that?
Well, that's not. Nobody knows that for sure.
Well, right. Well, no one knew that Richard Jewell was the bomber or not, and that was the whole point of the story.
No, what I'm saying
because
is
Clint
we don't
Eastwood
know.
is a crazy old man.
I'm saying Eastwood. They did like a lot of research, so that's like pretty much all he said. Don't equate the two. I get your point, but don't equate the two.
I'm not, but I also heard that it was literally like 2 lines of dialogue in the movie, so it seems like they could just have cut it pretty easily.
I just hate like when people do what I call like the Katherine Heigl thing, where they get paid by somebody and then they spend time bad mouthing it, like the Knocked Up. That's what Olivia Wilde has done. Like, she makes the movie, she takes the paycheck, and then she like kind of rips on. I don't know. Whatever. Hey, Josh.
Wouldn't you do that to save your future jobs, Brett? Like, if you were getting backhanded stuff like left and right, if you're getting backlash left and right, wouldn't you start saying like, "Hey, my bad"?
I just can't imagine Olivia Wilde didn't expect this signing on to do this movie. So I think that's on her a little bit.
Also, like, why not make up a character if you're going to go that route instead of using the actual person's name?
She said that her interpretation of it was that she and John Hamm were like already fucking and in a relationship of casually having sex, and that it wasn't it was not a quid pro quo for
it was just it was like pillow talk or something.
Yeah, but apparently that's not the way the editing in the film makes it seem. So maybe if she was misled, I don't know. I could see being upset. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know.
Why does this always happen with his movies? There's always something with Clint Eastwood's movies.
Like the American Sniper, this stuff.
Yeah.
Josh, you were close to ready, Josh?
So stupid.
I haven't heard Josh speak